We are ready.
Good afternoon. Since we have many nationalities in here, let me ask you guys. Please answer me just yes or no. Omanis, in your country, is it easy to get a gun? No. How about in Taiwan? And I know that it's not easy to get a gun in Korea. However, in the United States, it's easier to get a gun than your home countries. But on the other hand, some says it's not easy to get a gun. That's why we have black market to get a gun. And some says it should be easier than now to protect ourselves with guns. So it's really a controversial topic. So today, I and my partner Kris will discuss this gun ownership. I stand up for yes, and I got 3 points to support my opinion. General facts, requirements on gun ownership, and process of getting a gun. And then Kris will talk about opposite side. So let's start with general facts. I got these 3 points, and because it's easy to get a gun in the United States, we have many gun shooting crimes. Last year, July 20th, there was a gun shooting in theater in Colorado. You guys know about Dark Knight's movie. Because of that movie, there was a gun shooting. As you guys knew, there was a big tragedy in Connecticut a few months ago. 20 elementary school students were killed because of the gun shooting. The criminal was Adam Lenza, who was just 20 years old and who has autism. Autism is a kind of disorder, mental disorder related to mental brain function. And these 2 cases show how easy to get a gun for everyone in the United States, even for someone who has autism. Also, you can see by numbers. This is the list of countries by number of guns. And the United States is ranked as the #1 country who has the guns, private guns the most. The number of guns per 100 residents is 88.8. It's a big number compared to other countries, as you can see. So I've talked about general facts, and now I'll talk about requirements. I have 3 points: legal age on gun ownership, sales between individuals, and private sales. In the United States, the legal age of drinking is 21 years old. Legal age of smoking is 18 years old. Legal age of driving is averagely 16 years old. And the legal age of gun ownership is averagely 18 years old, but it's different, depends on the state. And in Montana state, you can possess a gun when you turn to 14 years old. 14 years old with a gun. Can you imagine that? And when you go online stores to get a gun, you can see the list of guns without registered. But actually, they need to confirm purchaser's identity before they buy a gun. But they're not doing this. When you get a gun from private sellers who are not involved in business but sell guns occasionally, you're not going to have a background check. Because private sellers they don't have obligation to conduct a check. That means they're not going to check your background. So you can get a gun without background check even though you have a problem. So now I'll compare the process of getting a gun in California and Japan. In California, first you need to fill application form. Then you need to take a class like learn how to use gun and the range. In Japan, first you need to take a written test, and then you need to take a skill test. Then they will have you get a drug check. Also, they will have you get a mental evaluation. Then finally, they will check your background. In California, they don't check your drug, and they don't check your mental evaluation, and they don't check your background. Without those things, you can get a gun easily. So I've talked about how easy to get a gun in the United States. And from now, my partner Kris will talk about opposite side.
For my point of view, the question that is it too easy to get the gun? For me, no, it's not that easy. I will support my answer with 3 main points. It is same as Soo, which is a general facts, requirement, and the process of getting the gun. So first, I will start with the general facts. Normally, if you have a chance to involve to the crime, it means that you are more dangerous, right? So it will be better if you can have a gun to protect yourself. Even though someone may say that no, because our society is more dangerous because of the gun. But according to the Kris, who is a professor of criminology at the Florida State, and he's a criminologist, he said that in 1993, there is around, I forgot to mention that this guy got a reward from American Society of Criminology because he written a book named Point Blank, and he's a famous professor. And in his research, in 1983, this is his research name, National Crime Victim Survey. He said that there's around 2.5 million who use guns for protect themselves. But compared to the number of persons who use guns to commit a crime, it's only 0.5 million. So you can see that it has more advantage if you have a gun. And according to the survey with this crime rate in Colorado, you can see, especially in the violence and rape problem, and also assault and thief, these 5 measures, you can see that the number is increasing. And may ask you this: if you know that the criminal will have a gun and try to rape you, will you have a gun to protect yourself? Yeah, it will be better, right, if you have a gun to protect yourself. But unfortunately, according to the Washington Post, Patrick Egan, he wrote a column named "The 6 Facts About the Gun Violence." He said that the number of gun ownership is decreased. So this is a conflict because normally when the crime increases, the gun ownership should be increased too. If you say that it's easy to get a gun, right? So this is the general background. Then I will show you the next main point is a requirement. Even though there is a requirement as Soo said, but there is more requirement than that. There is 3 more requirements. The first one is you need to have a test, and then in some states such as California and Washington, they already banned the private gun seller, which including the sell gun on the internet. So no more private sale. And in some states such as Hawaii, if you want to buy a gun, you need to wait for 2 weeks or 14 days to get the gun. And also there is some gun that you can purchase. For example, automatic gun is the gun that if you pull a trigger, it will keep shooting until you release it. You can't buy this kind of gun. And next is the process of buying a gun. In Hawaii, and there's also some requirement that is some people who can buy a gun. So the first one is, if you are not US citizen, you can buy a gun. So you guys, AMI students, are not US citizen. Even though the criminal have a gun, but you can buy a gun to protect yourself. And also, if you have a crime and you have been in jail for at least 1 year, you cannot sell any gun or involve with any gun activity. And the last one is, if you are a U.S. citizen but you ruin the U.S. citizens, such as this guy, Erando Sorin, he's a co-partner of Facebook, co-founder of Facebook, but he renounced the U.S. citizen by he avoiding the tax. So when the police check background, they will know that this guy is cannot buy a gun because they already renounced U.S. citizenship. And the next one is the process. The process of buying a gun, I will show the example in Hawaii. If you want to buy a gun in Hawaii, first you need to go to the gun shop and then choose the gun, which gun you want to buy, and for each specific purpose. For example, if you want to buy a gun for hunting, you need to buy a hunting gun. And next is, after you buy it, you cannot pick your gun directly. You need to go to the post office and they will ask you to fill in the information. And you will check through some background. And also, you need to have a fingerprint and pay for $19.25. After that, you need to have a test or training if you buy some handgun. And also, you need to wait for next 14 days. After next 14 days, you can go back to the gun shop and get the gun. As you see, it's not hard process, but there is various of process, and you need to wait for a while. So it's not that easy to get a gun. And the question that
I am so sorry, but I forgot to say some information which is important. So for the gun number in the United States, the Guardian on December 17, 2012 states that the U.S. has the highest gun ownership rate in the world. There are 89 guns for every 100 Americans, compared to 6 in England and Wales. Also, another information that I missed is for private sellers. According to Michael R. Bloomberg, the mayor of the city of New York and author of Point Blank Fire, an investigation of illegal online gun sales, 62% of private sellers agreed to sell a gun to a buyer who might have a problem with their background check.
in our conclusion, nowadays in our society we have a crime rate. The question that's asked that this is too easy to get a gun is still in a controversial, because if you think that the main problem that caused the crime is the way that the criminal gets the gun is too easy, so you might agree with this person. Yes, it's too easy to get a gun. That's why it's caused more crime rate. And because if you have involved with the gun accident, such as the incident that Soo said, you might say that if you can attain the gun harder than this, it might be better situation. It may become a better situation. But however, if you think yourself as you need to have a right to protect yourself, and yes, because nowadays there is a high crime rate, so it's important to have a gun to protect yourself. Without the good evidence and support, and also you need to wait between benefit and disadvantage to answer this question. So after you read everything, I think you can have the answer by yourself, which is the answer.